Okay, now we have entered into theme 2, physiology of humans and animals. So do you still remember the meaning of physiology? It's the branch of biology that deals with the functions of living organisms. So when we talk about functions, we are actually focusing on the processes, physiological processes. For example, respiration, nutrition, sensitivity, and so on. So chapter 8 onwards until chapter 15, the last chapter, is on this second theme of physiology. Okay, so next. So now today we are going to look at chapter 8, respiratory systems in humans and animals. Okay, so in this chapter we have 4 subtopics. So we are going to look at the first one, the types of respiratory system. Okay, back in theme 1, okay, on the fundamentals of biology, we have come across these unicellular organisms, for example, amoeba species. Okay, we know that this organism is consists of only one cell. Okay, and therefore they do not need a special respiratory structure because it has a large total surface area to volume ratio for gaseous exchange through diffusion. Okay, simple diffusion. So in other words, okay, total surface area to volume is TSA per V. Okay, so this TSA to V ratio depends on the size of organism. The bigger the size, the smaller the ratio of total surface area to volume. Okay, so that means big size organisms, for example, human beings, okay, we have a small TSA to volume. Okay, so this explains why large and complex organisms, or we say the multicellular organisms, they cannot maintain gaseous exchange by diffusion through the body surface. Therefore, large organisms require a special respiratory structure for efficient exchange of gases. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now you can see here two cubes, okay, A and B. So it's obvious that B is of bigger size. Now again, the second question is that which one has a larger TSA to volume ratio? Okay, we know that the bigger the size, the smaller the TSA to volume ratio. Okay, so in other words, okay, let's move on. Okay, the larger the TSA to volume ratio, if this value is large, okay, the more efficient it is for the organism to maintain gaseous exchange through diffusion with the surrounding. So which one is it, A or B? Has more efficient gaseous exchange through diffusion. Which one? Which do you think can maintain gaseous exchange through the body surface efficiently? Do you get the point? Maybe you can just think of it and in this way. Like you have oxygen here in the surrounding, right? So which organism, is it organism A or B, will get the oxygen from the surrounding through diffusion easier or more easily, okay, to cater every single unit of the cell? Okay, say B, since it is very big, so you can imagine the cells within, deep inside here, definitely the distance to the surrounding is further. Okay, therefore the cells inside here cannot obtain oxygen from the surrounding through simple diffusion. Okay, that's why the larger size organism will have to have a special respiratory structure to maintain efficient exchange of gases. Okay, so now there are 4 adaptations for large size organisms. Okay, in order for them to have efficient exchange of gases between the organisms and also the gases in the surrounding. Okay, so these 4 adaptations are actually the 4 main points that you need to remember because we'll be discussing these 4 main points throughout the lesson. Okay, so the first one is that remember the TSA to volume must be large, okay, in order for efficient exchange of respiratory gases. Okay, so that means the smaller the organisms, okay, the larger the TSA to volume ratio, therefore they can exchange the gases more efficiently. Second point is thin respiratory structure. When you say thin, how thin? 1 cell thick. Why? The thinner it is, the easier it is for diffusion of gases to happen. Okay, the third point is that moist. The surface must be moist. When it is moist, therefore respiratory gases can dissolve in them. Okay, when it is dry, these gases cannot dissolve in them. Alright, so the fourth point is that the structure must have a dense blood capillaries or a dense network of blood capillaries. Okay, except for insects, they don't have gases. They don't have blood. We are going to look at it afterwards. Okay, so have you remembered the 4 points, the 4 keywords, the 4 adaptations?